In June of 2023, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a law that will get rid of required water breaks for construction workers every 4 hours. The law is HB 2127, or the Regulatory Consistency Act, and it aims to get rid of conflicting state and local rules. Critics have named it the Death Star Bill because it will stop cities in Texas from passing certain kinds of new regulations and get rid of a bunch of existing ones, including the water break requirement in Austin and Dallas. Adding to the backlash, Greg Abbott signed HB 2127 in the middle of a heat wave that caused at least 3 workers to die. Now, the law doesn't actually go into effect until September 1st, but a lot of people have been speaking out and saying that these workers' deaths are an example of why removing water breaks is dangerous.
We staunchly support the need for a rest break ordinance. Texas, by and large, is the worst state in the country when it comes to worker protections.
Working should not be a death sentence. But unfortunately, in places like Texas, where I've grown up, it is way hotter than normal. And we've had people lose their lives delivering the mail, pouring concrete, fixing electrical lines. And we need to protect those workers.
We wanted to know how this law will affect roofers, so we talked to Tim Bowen, the president of Austin Roofing and Construction. He worked on roofs in Texas for years and says heat waves like the one that hit this past June are nothing new.
And I've been in situations where we've had to come off the roof about every 30 minutes just because you get that hot and you're sweating that much that you're losing that much moisture.
When it gets that hot, Tim says roofing crews have to slow down and work longer days to deal with the heat.
We have longer days. So we start earlier in the morning, and then through the middle of the day, you kind of slow down and you take a little bit more caution when it's hotter. And then as the day kind of winds down, it's, a little bit cooler than it was during the, when the sun's right over the top of you. But yes, it does take considerably longer. A roof, like a shingle roof that would take you a day, can oftentimes take you a day and a half, sometimes 2 days.
As far as the water break requirement being taken away, Tim says it won't change how his crews are operating.
I always run with the policy that if you get too hot, get in the shade. There are people that will abuse it, but it's safer and better than the alternative. Pushing somebody to the point where they end up passing out with heat stroke or, dying. It's just not worth it.
Tim said any other contractor who is smart will do the same.
I don't think you get away with it in this day and age. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, you could push people a little bit harder, but you just can't do it anymore. People don't take it. There's too much information out there, and there's ease of access to other jobs. I don't think that anybody's going to abuse it. You're looking at a very serious lawsuit if somebody ends up dying on your job.
But even if contractors don't abuse it, HB 2127 could end up being struck down by the courts. So far, both Houston and San Antonio have filed lawsuits against the state of Texas over the new law. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.